guys, I'm back with a new video and let's talk about We Live in Time. So we're taking a break from all the horror movies that I've been watching lately, and today we're gonna talk about a cute, romantic, slightly sad film. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So if you don't know what We Live in Time is about, basically this is the new Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh romance. It's about this guy and this girl that they meet in an unconventional way and their life struggles through the years. If you haven't seen the trailer and don't really know anything about the film, I think this is a good way to summarize it, because I can see like this story is sort of predictable. We have seen similar stories, so the less you know, the better. So it is a little bit more surprising, even though I'm pretty sure you can guess where this is going. So yeah. As far as who stars in it, I've already mentioned two of them. So it stars Andrew Garfield, Florence Pugh, Grace Delaney, who's this like really cute little girl, and Lee Braithwaite. I hope I'm pronouncing their name right. And yeah, now let's get to my thoughts. So I don't know how you feel about this film, but personally, I was excited about it, but because I really love the two leads, and I actually did a best of video for both of them, so I leave them up here. But I love Andrew Garfield. I think there's only one movie of his that I haven't seen. I have seen all of his filmography, and obviously I was hyped for this film. I also think this is a movie distributed by A24. It's not their production, but I think it's distributed by them, at least in the US, I think. So I was hyped for this film, but I haven't really seen a lot of promotion. I have seen a few, mainly in the US and a little bit in the UK, but at least here in Portugal there's not a ton of marketing, and I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about the film. Maybe it's not exactly out yet, I'm not sure, but it did premiere at the San Sebastian Film Festival, I think. But yeah, there's not a lot of people talking about it, so I don't know how the general audience feels about the film, if they're excited or not. I was a little bit excited about it, mainly for the actors. So I would say this film is, in a way, it's really basic. This film, my first thought coming out of the film was, this is so British. If you're familiar with British films, you can spot one right away. They feel very raw, very real. Some people would say they're kind of basic. There's not a lot of like stylization when it comes to the cinematography. They feel very grounded, and that's exactly how this film feels. Even like, as I said, the cinematography visually, it's really like soft and basic. There's not a lot to it. There's like, I think, one scene where there's a different stylization that I really enjoyed, but apart from that, it's really basic looking. And when I was watching it, it reminded me of another film that Andrew Garfield starred in, which is titled Boy A. And this film is directed by the same director as Boy A. So I guess, yeah, both really British films. And that's, I guess, what I can say about this film. It's a really real and raw film. It can get a little bit confusing because this film has multiple time jumps. It jumps time throughout the whole film, from the past to the future to the present to the future again to the past. So it goes back and forth all the time. And it's a bit confusing at times because they don't change a lot, like the characters, like the hair or the like clothes and their bodies. Not a lot changes, so it's kind of difficult to track the time when everything is like taking place. It takes a little bit to get used to the time jumps, and it takes a little bit to figure out every time the time changes to figure out where in the story you are at. I don't know if I'm making sense, but it's kind of difficult to figure out, to follow the story. But besides that, I think it's a really simple story, and it's one that we have seen a lot. Obviously, I have to talk about the acting. I think both Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh are really good. However, I felt like they were not really playing characters. I felt like they were themselves. From what I've seen in interviews, in like separate projects, they feel like they are these people. And it's actually really funny because the profession that Florence Pugh's character has in the film, it's something that she does a lot in real life and that she's pretty well known for. And when it comes to the themes and about family and stuff, I also think that's how Andrew Garfield feels. I mean, I don't know them personally, but from what I've seen in interviews and stuff, these characters feel like themselves. So I don't know, I can't really comment on their acting because it feels very real, but maybe that's a good thing. However, it's kind of odd to see Andrew Garfield in a character like this because he usually goes for more like outlandish characters like Under the Silver Lake and Mainstream, and even Tick Tick Boom. Like his character is way more extroverted, and I don't know, he usually goes for characters that are more out there, and this one is really like shy and calm. And but yeah, it's kind of odd. He usually doesn't play this type of characters. Also, something that one of my friends mentioned and that I kind of agree is that the chemistry between them isn't really there. They feel more like really good friends, and that's okay. They should be really good friends, but when you see the beginning of the relationship, you should feel more. You should feel like a fire or something. I can understand like more towards like more into the relationship when they have been together for more time. It makes sense that they just feel like good friends because they're so used to each other. So it makes sense, but in the beginning I wanted a bit more. But yeah, I love them, so I'm a bit biased, yes. And overall, I would say this is not the masterpiece that I wanted it to be. I wanted something like really beautiful and like really big, and this is more of a like small, calm, basic story. So I wanted more, but at the same time, this was exactly what I thought it would be. As soon as the film started, I knew this would be like a really like basic British film, super real. So I'm not really disappointed. I did want a little bit more, but I'm okay with this. It's still a really beautiful film. So post that, let's get to my scores. So overall, I'm gonna give the film a 3.5 out of 5. It's, as I said, a really like basic film, but it's a really good one. I can really fault anything in the film. It has good cinematography, good acting, a story that, even though it's kind of been done before, it's still beautiful, and it made me cry, it made me laugh. It has a bit of everything, so it's still a really well made film. Cinematography, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. Apart from that one scene that I think it's super like stylized and really beautiful, everything else is again basic looking, which is fine, but there's not a lot to it. And originality, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 5. It's not the most original film. I have seen this story in a lot of other films. It's just done in a different way, but it's still effective, so yeah. So guys, these are my thoughts on We Live in Time. I have no idea how people are feeling about this film, so if you have seen it already, let me know in the comments. If you haven't, let me know if you are planning on watching it. I should probably do a updated version of Andrew Garfield's like films, my favorites. So if you would like to see that, also tell me in the comments. And tell me which one is your favorite Andrew Garfield and your favorite Florence Pugh film. And yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!